Before Joshua died, he boldly spoke to the children of Israel.
He told them, "Do away with the gods that your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt, and to serve the Lord."
And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve.
But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
But after Joshua died, the children of Israel didn't listen.
The people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord.
They did what was right in their own eyes.
And they abandoned the Lord.
They didn't drive out all the people of the land that God had given them.
Instead of worshiping the Lord, they worshiped the Baals, the gods of the Canaanites.
They rejected God's protection and provision, so God allowed them to be conquered.
After they were conquered, they would cry out to the Lord.
God, in His kindness, would hear the cries of His people and send a deliverer.
These deliverers were called judges.
The judges were people that God raised up.
Some of them were clever, and some of them were mighty.
But not all of them.
One of them was downright afraid.
When God called Gideon, he was hiding from the Midianites.
When God called him, He didn't call him a wimp or tell him to toughen up.
The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him,
"The Lord is with you, O mighty man of valor."
God was with him.
God would use him.
Gideon wasn't convinced that God could use him.
So he asked God to show him a sign.
God was patient and showed Gideon that He was with him.
He told Gideon to gather an army.
So he sent messengers out to the tribe of Israel, and 32,000 men showed up.
But God said there were too many.
So Gideon told them, "If any of you are afraid, go home."
22,000 people went home.
That left only 10,000 men of Israel that weren't scared.
God told Gideon, "That's too many."
So he took the 10,000 men down to the river and told them to drink.
The men who drank by lapping up the water like a puppy were asked to go home.
The men who lapped up water from their hands were asked to stay.
9,700 men went home.
That means that Gideon only had 300 men left to fight the Midianites.
Only 300?
Yup, the glory was God's. He didn't need a huge army.
He chose to use weak and foolish things.
God had a special plan.
He told Gideon to have all 300 men take torches and put them in jars and a trumpet.
Then they came to the outskirts of the enemy's camp in the middle of the night and
they blew the trumpets and smashed the jars that were in their hands.
Then the whole company of God's people shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon."
when the enemy army heard the war cries, they panicked and turned on each other.
The Midianites began to defeat themselves.
Gideon and his tiny army chased away the remaining Midianites.
God gave Israel victory!
The victory didn't come from a huge army.
It didn't come through someone who was super brave and powerful.
Remember, Gideon was hiding in the beginning of the story.
God used weak and foolish people to confound the wise.
Because he is awesome and mighty.
He wants to work through us.
We need to recognize that our strength comes from Him.